do you guys know the reason why we're having this talk on music? Can anybody tell me why do you think we're even having this talk? Why is it important for us to be talking about the music that's happening today, the music you're listening to today? Yes, what do you think?
Because like music like gangster rap and stuff like that is becoming like more popular these days.
And what do you think the problem with that is? Yes.
The chief creator.
Without that was yes.
People are getting inspired by it and they're starting to kill people.
Yeah, and it makes people want to do harm to other people or kill people. So this is why it's very important. That's why I asked Brother Kwabena if he would actually come out here. And like I said, very few people I know will actually get on a plane and come all of these miles for as an activist. And so he's a relative, but one of the things I really appreciate about Brother Kwabena, even though being a relative, and I'll edit this out, me being a relative of Geronimo, because I know he's on a different level, he actually, by him being a relative, a lot of times it's a situation where he can easily say, I'm so-and-so's nephew, or I'm this or that, but he goes on television shows, he goes on different major radio stations, and he would never even mention it. He never even mentioned it. We know him as a community activist. We know him as a brother that whenever there's something going on in our community that he feels passionate about, he'll get on a plane and go there. I mean, and then one thing about this brother, I'll talk to him one day and I'll say, where you at? I'm in Louisiana. And I'll talk to him like about a week later, so where you at? Oh, I'm in Africa. You know, he's everywhere. He travels. And one of the things I really appreciate about, especially tonight, you know, some of us are going to be at Crypto Arena. To my understanding is they're going to be naming it back to Staples. That's what I heard. But we're going to be there demonstrating against this whole Netflix thing, and he will address a little bit of that right now. But the brother that we got coming up today, he's not only an engineer by trade, but he's also a historian when it comes to our music. I mean, he goes all the way back. I mean, you'll see, and what we'll see today, the brother will go through the last 25 years of music, and a lot of the music you know about, and see how it affects us. So let's give a warm black hand to Brother Kwabena Rasuli.
Appreciate you all. Asante sana. Speaking Swahili and using those words, I remember using those words when I was your age, a little younger. There was a brother named Heshimu. You saw Heshimu in there, right? Honor. So, and I remembered him. And as a matter of fact, I got a hold of someone who knew that he was still with us. And he was based here in Los Angeles, so it was good to see Heshimu. And they had a record store. His mother-in-law, he was married to a sister named Tijabu. Tijabu's mother's name was Maisha, and they had a record store on Central, right there between Watson and Willowbrook, called the House of Maisha. And I used to go there sometimes. They had Fish, and they had 45 records. Y'all seen the 45 records before? Anybody? Records. Yeah. So I used to pick up the records. Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Pick them up for $1. And so, I mean, I think about also when I was you all's age in class, Rodriguez Elementary School out in Carson, and the music, all that music is still with me. As a matter of fact, I do a radio show right now. It's called the Weekly Wrap Up, a conscious hip hop and classic funk show with Mellow Extension. And so lately, we've been going back 50 years. Like it started in 2022, we went back to 1972, and we've been playing our funk and mellow music section, just songs from that year. We do a part 1 and part 2 because there were so many good songs. Then we did, in 2023, we went back to what year? 50 years ago? 73. Okay, and so we did 74, and so in a couple weeks I'll be doing 75. But again, all these songs and stuff, I remember like it wasn't nothing. When I find them and play them, sometimes I'm even singing those songs. So 50 years from now, hopefully not, but as we'll see in a few minutes, but a lot of this music will still be in your head to a certain extent. And it's so very important because music is a part of one's culture. And culture is so very important. Anybody want to, well, I'll tell you what the definition of culture is. Culture is defined as a people's way of life. And if we go a little further, it's to how we prepare for our unborn, to how we bury our dead. And everything in between is a part of the people's culture. And a major part of our culture is our music. Would y'all agree with that? We're playing music while we're cleaning up, sometimes while we're studying in the car. Oh, there's a lot of music on a lot, right? and makes us move. It inspires us. It makes us think about things. And it's just such a beautiful piece that we've done as black people, make so much beautiful, powerful, strong music over the years. But someone or some people have gotten control of our culture. And now they're using it as a weapon against us. And it was before Chief Keef. So Chief Keef, we may talk about him for a second because he's from Chicago, which is right next to Gary where I live, in that area. All the radio stations and TV stations we get are Chicago. In basketball, in Gary, we follow what team probably? The Chicago what? In football, we follow the Chicago
Bears.
Yes, and so pretty much that's part of the area I live in. And so Chief Keef came around 2010. They said he's like the father of drill music. Well, we were already making this type of music, which we'll see in a moment, unfortunately. And some of the main people came from right here, and New York too. So, and we'll talk about some things we're doing in New York and Los Angeles today to deal with this, to address this. So, 2025, so we're how far into the century? Halfway? 75%? Somebody said a quarter.
25%.
A quarter is what?
25%.
So we're a quarter into the century already. And so when we get to the end of the century, in the year what?
2100.
Yeah, 20, yeah, when we get to 21, when we get to 21, I'm telling y'all, a lot of y'all gonna still be here. Yeah, he's gonna still be here, because we think about people we know in our family who are 85 and some 90, not as many, but a lot of y'all gonna still be here. And so this music is gonna still be in your head. And my premise, when we looked at coming into 2025, I was talking to Tabidi, and I was like, we can't handle another 25 years of this type of music with others controlling our music, so we have to get back control. And I thought about when I was talking to you all, how in the next few years, you're gonna be moving up and growing up, and you're gonna be strong warriors and strong warrior sisters and making an impact on the world. Tabidi mentioned my Uncle Geronimo, Uncle Geronimo, and while I don't say it a lot, I'm definitely very proud of him and the work he did and his comrades did when they were like 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. They were young, putting in good work for the community, the Black Panther Party and so many other organizations fighting and struggling for their community. So we are very proud of that. But that, I mean, with our conditions today, they're almost as bad as they were, probably in certain ways, worse than in the early 60s, late 60s. Probably worse, especially when it comes to something we call horizontal violence. And horizontal violence means, you know, it's not coming from above or below, hitting the top. It's those who are a lot of times in the same boat, same situation, the same struggles. We're doing violence on one another. And this music is saying to do this sort of violence. We started a survey in 2019 near Detroit. As a matter of fact, I was in touch with traveling a lot, and traveling is good, broad and scope. Fortunately, I'm in a position where I do have the opportunity to travel for work and also to travel sometimes very, very small for play, but I try to mix that play in with it also. And also for to go to conferences and other activities and what have you. But I travel broad and scope. So I was in Ypsilanti, Michigan, which is, I love that name too, Ypsilanti. And that name, as a matter of fact, is a Native American name. I was talking about when I was in Ypsilanti and Kalamazoo and all these places recently, and I thought about this. I was telling somebody how crazy these names are, and I said, well, these are names of the people who were here first, right? The Native people who were wiped out, who genocide was committed upon. And we got to understand that. And I want y'all to think about that word, genocide, and what has been taking place with wiping a lot of these people out when I get to some of these numbers and statistics that we're going to talk about when we get into this music and what's been happening with our families and with our people. All right? I want y'all to keep that in mind. But Ypsilanti, I saw a brother and sister while I was working. I went down to the Huron River. How do you pronounce it? This is a great lake. Y'all know the Great Lakes, right?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it, Huron?
Lake Huron.
Yeah, Lake Huron. So it's Huron. Yeah, so it's in there on the globe on the map. But there's a river also in Ypsilanti called that. So the brother and sister were down there chilling, so I went and talked to them and asked them the survey question. And I'm gonna ask this a few of you all too, because you're a little younger than the age I typically ask the question to, but I still want to get it in. Give me the percentage. You know about the percentages, we talked about them a couple times. The percentage of music that you and your peers listen to that dropped the N-bomb. Give me about 3 or 4 hands and I'll get questions, answers to that. 1, 2, 3, first three I saw. Okay, what's the percentage that dropped the N-bomb?
Like
80%, what do you say?
Like, probably 85.
85, and back here?
95.
95. 80, 85, 95. That's the M-bomb. That word we ain't supposed to use. The most despicable, disgusting, dangerous, dehumanizing word in the history of English or any other language is that M-bomb. The M-bomb opens the portal to all this other stuff we're going to see in a little bit. Using that word, calling us up that. We are not that. Don't call yourself that. Don't call your people that. Is the word in history? Is it in song? Yes. But it's not something we should be calling each other. All right? All right, that's a little bit on the M-bomb. Matter of fact, my brother, he had this question he would ask. He said, what is the last word you think people hear or are called before they meet their demise? Is it brother? Is it friend? Is it their name? Or is that N-bomb dropped on them? And just most people say it's that N-bomb. And that's the ultimate to take somebody's life. You're gone, you're not here anymore. That's the ultimate. And so we gotta deal with that. Second question. I need 3 different hands. The percentage of music that you and your peers listen to that refer to our mamas, our sisters, our daughters, our aunties, our grandmothers as B's and H's. 1, 2, and 3. 3 brothers asked that one. Okay. What percentage?
90.
90?
75.
75. Okay, back here.
94.
94. Okay. Percentage again. That's the music that we listen to, where our sisters, our daughters, our mamas, our grandmothers, our girlfriends, our wives are called B's and H's in the music. And again, these numbers are kind of similar to what I've been getting. Okay, here's the last question we asked in the survey. The percentage of music that you and your peers listen to that brags about and encourages the shooting and killing of black people in the music. People who didn't answer the question. Okay, I'll get your nephew and I was looking over here. Who's first over here? She was? Okay. And you, okay, go ahead. You gotta speak up.
85.
By 85?
Maybe like 96.
96. 94, 96. Okay, that'll give us an even number, right on our, maybe odd number 2, but divided by 5. Okay, we got one?
90.
You say 90? Oh, we don't really need to go through this then. Mm-hmm. But we are going to go through it because, I don't know, it's crazy.
Okay, that's good.
So I just want to give you a little intro before we get off to these lyrics, and I'm going to give you a warning. And this was a tough, arduous task to cipher through these lyrics because I'm probably going to have to skip through a lot of them too, and we'll have some back and forth because the lyrics are so horrible. They're so horrible. It's like I can't believe it sometimes, but it hasn't always been like that. So let's look at R&B and hip hop music 25 years into the millennium. And like we're saying, you can't deal with another 25 years of this. We're not going to make it to another 25 years of this. We got to make some changes. And you all give me those ages again.
10 to 14.
10 to 14, so shoot, by 2030, y'all going to be 19 and 15 and 16, so yeah. Okay, top 25 rap songs, NRB from 20 to 2025. Okay, this is based on chart performance, and a lot of this music and stuff that they play and they push. There's a lot of good music out there too that they don't play. Okay. Which songs influence the culture and set a trend for this era? And presented by some brother named Kwabena. Missy Elliott. I'm gonna ask y'all a question too. Just say you can just say it out. Do y'all know her? Many of y'all know her? Missy Elliott.
Yes.
And some do, but some don't. Okay. See Nas and Eve still around. Q-Tip, we don't hear about Nas. And Nas is still making music. Still making some good music too. But yeah, that was a pretty hot hit a quarter of a century ago from Missy Elliott. It had some raunchiness to it, but not too bad. It's actually elementary compared to today. Yeah, one of the struggles we have in this music piece is the materialism in it. A lot of these type of cars we see right there, I mean the Jeeps, maybe we can, but after these tariffs, maybe double up, but after these tariffs, this is knucklehead put through yesterday or day before yesterday, they may be even higher. But these cars are very expensive, and we just need the car to get us from where? From where? From where? Point A to point B. And of course, we want something that's reliable, something else. We want something that's nice too. But yeah, this materialism. How many other things we can do if I had a car, one of these cars, like Brother Tabitha said, I wouldn't be able to travel around and do the stuff I do. And we don't need that, but that's what it was reported. This was a, y'all know them? Yeah. Okay. That's Okay, out of Atlanta, part of the Dungeon family. And so they had Sergeant Jackson, I'm for real, was cut back in the day. I can't believe it was that long ago. Eminem got, so yeah, he can go. One of the best rappers out there, out of Detroit, where we were at, so it's a cut stand we can't. This song here, Falling, from Alicia Keys, beautiful singer, beautiful music, so we all appreciate her. Grammy, let's check that out, Grammy for Song of the Year 2002. Grammy, keep that in mind, the word Grammy, okay, as we move further. And Grammy's one of the most prestigious awards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Andre was singing on this one.
And keep in mind we're taping.
Yeah, he was singing on this one in 2003. And a lot of people dug this song he was singing. Okay, so in 2003 also, I was in Ghana, and I would buy a bunch of records. I mentioned the 45 and albums too, and I had this album. I had an album before this from 50 Cent. And when I was in Ghana for over 3 months, and when I left here, nobody was talking about 50 Cent. When I got to Ghana, they started talking about it. I said, 50 Cent, I got some of his music at the house. He all right. And then I found out Eminem and Dr. Dre and all those behind them, and the song In the Club came out, was a major hit. And it was already started, but it also started disrespecting our women a lot in this song. And then later on he had a song, we're not going to go through it. I think it was on his album, where I listened to the radio, and we're going to jump right into it. And I heard on the radio in Chicago a song where he said, I'm going to have your mama picking out your casket. And they played it on the radio. This is 7 years before Chief Keef. I'm going to have your mama picking out your casket. So we celebrate him today as we shouldn't be. There's Beyonce along with Jay-Z. Y'all know that song, right? Yeah. Jay-Z once said he has a hard time not killing ends. He says it's like a full-time job not to kill ends. Yeah, so they made him a superstar, billionaire. Another billionaire. One of the homeboys from Chicago. I just saw him the other night in a black Ku Klux Klan like suit. Yeah, some of y'all saw that too. Yeah, with academics. Yeah, DJ academics and stuff. So this song, Gold Digger, where had Jamie, they were singing about dropping N-bombs, disrespecting our women again in that song. Used a nice beat from Ray Charles, and that was some of the lyrics. Yeah, constantly in there. So I guess getting on somebody win the Super Bowl and drive off in a Hyundai. All right, so 2007, Rihanna. Who is Rihanna? It's all good. So it's interesting, and as we're going to go forward too, there's going to be a question I'm going to ask y'all about some of the female artists too. I want y'all to remember. Well, you got to remember her. Lil Wayne, we call him. Sometimes we call him Lil Stain. Yeah, I know. We did a presentation. Somebody really got upset at us for using these nicknames for these rappers sometimes, and we feel they're appropriate. If not appropriate, we wouldn't use them. But we said, I understand, but it pales in comparison to them calling us N's and B's, and it pales in comparison to that. We give them a little nickname, but yeah, Lollipop, and I'm going to link the lyrics here. Let's see. Yeah, and we move forward from them. Just stuff I can't. It's just horrible. Yeah, I said, So we're asking a lot, and we understand that you all at the age you are, and some of the stuff that's on here. But when we did the questions, you guys kind of get exposed to it anyway. But we understand that we haven't edited out, and it's tough. We got as much as we can bring up that 10, to 14-year-old maturity as best we can. Because this stuff, not only is it's shocking sometimes, even to us, even myself when I see it or hear it, but it's so inappropriate. So inappropriate. So there he is again with Alicia Keys earlier, Empire State of Mind. Again, Jay-Z has been made a billionaire. He runs the Super Bowl, and it's part of them controlling our culture. They'll put some what we call tokens out there. Look at that, 23 weeks at number one.
Who was this ran?
Miguel, you're not familiar with Miguel?
Yes.
Well, and you might not, like I said, because we're going through history, and we know that this is some of you all weren't even born in 2012. I know, but some weren't. So you're not doing what you're listening to when you're a baby. So we understand that. That's why it's called history, right? And this is a brief history. This is in 2025 years. So, and some of these songs they still play on the radio. You may still hear them every once in a while. Your parents might still jam off of it. But we'll get further than that.
Yes.
Y'all like John Legend? Okay.
Oh my.
Yeah, I like some good stuff too. Yeah, 2013. And again, so we're looking at a lot of songs. No, you don't like that one? Okay. So we're looking at a lot of songs that were being played, that were popular, that were on like the mainstream end. They weren't, because there was still a lot of ratchet music coming up too. But as we get closer, we go to 2014, you're gonna see what we're talking about. This song was ratchet and ridiculous. It helped spark a movement called Rage Against the Ratchet. There's a music producer named Carvin Higgins out of Philadelphia. Him and my brother Harold Russell, they started this group called Rage Against the Ratchet. And what they would do was demonstrate against the radio stations in Philadelphia that were playing vile, pornographic, horrific music because of the effect that it had on our children. And so we formed this group called Clear Airways Project right around that same time. Have any of y'all ever heard of Hydea Pendleton?
No.
Hydea Pendleton was a 14-year-old at Martin Luther King Academy in Chicago. And she was a singer. She was invited to sing at the second inauguration of Barack Obama. And when she got back from that second inauguration, it was in 2013, as a matter of fact. When she got back, she was gunned down right outside of her school by somebody on a random shooting. And so we were meeting, and it was around Valentine's Day. So we were meeting at a radio station near Gary in Hammond, Indiana, that was playing a lot of this Kill Black People music out there. And it was right on Valentine's. So we love our children too much to allow you to continue this. So we had a demonstration at Crawford Broadcasting. And that was like a couple days after Hydea had gotten killed. And then we found some brothers and sisters in Chicago who wanted to view some of our signs because they were demonstrating at the other Kill Black People radio station in Chicago. Chicago had two at that time, two Kill Black People radio stations, both European owned. One was owned by Crawford Broadcasting. Crawford is the one we went to in Hammond, Indiana. Crawford Dontron. Crawford Broadcasting plays conservative talk music and Christian music all around the country. But when it comes to Chicago, they were playing songs like Amen. I'm fitting to kill ends in the building. Amen. They were playing songs like Preach. All I trust is, we'll hear this line again. All I trust is my gap. That's what Preach said. That's what he said. They were playing songs like God. There was a song called G.O.D. God by Young Sleazy. Some people call him Young Jesus. I'm a God in the hood. My chopper make an end, jump a 10-foot wall. This was played on the radio, on the same station where they have others who are listening. Matter of fact, they've got a station out here in Orange County. It's conservative talk. It's talking about keeping black folks down. It's playing Christian music. I would call them in Denver, and I'll speak to Elizabeth McGuire. She was the working there, right lady. And while I'm waiting on hold for Elizabeth McGuire, I'm hearing Matthew, verse 13, chapter whatever. So it's religious talk. But again, for us in Chicago, it was kill each other. Totally unacceptable. The other station, the iHeart station, that our brothers and sisters in Chicago said, we need some of y'all signs. It was, at that time, Clear Channel. Clear Channel became iHeart Radio. iHeart has at least 28 stations just like that around the country, programming music to African people, controlling our culture, telling us that we're bees, that we're ends, that we should take each other's life, that we should play pornographic music, that we should be materialistic. it's just not back to back. Just like y'all said, 80, 90%, 70, 80, 90% back to back. This is the attack that we're under with this music and why we can't take another 25 years of this. We can't. And I'll go a little later on to some of the numbers about the violence and the family things too that we need to keep in mind about this. Okay, so that's 13 to 15. Oh, I got it. So here we go. Y'all know the song?
No.
I hope not.
Some of y'all say yes. It's letter N, try me. I'm gonna get his whole MFing family. Yeah. I'm gonna turn his stomach into spaghetti because she shot him in the stomach. Pretty bad. I think we got some lyrics here, do we? Yeah, here we go. That was the chorus in the song, and the song got a nice beat. When I first heard it, I was like moving off of it too. And I said, let me check out these lyrics. Oh, you got to be kidding me. And Dej Loaf gets invited to the Essence Fest, y'all. If you don't know about Essence Magazine was a magazine that was uplifting to our people. It was a magazine that just showed our women in their true beauty. Susan Taylor had a column called In the Spirit. When I was in college, I got a subscription to Essence Magazine. I would love reading it. And then sisters, my sisters who would, come around sometimes, they would like reading it too. But I love the magazine. Just a beautiful magazine. And now they have a fest in New Orleans, and they invited Dej Loaf to the fest. And this is her major hit. And this is the chorus of her major hit. And you're inviting that. Played all the time. And y'all know poor homie Quan?
No.
I shouldn't say that. I apologize because he just passed last year. You guys familiar with the fact that he passed? I know he's friends with my family. He's good friends with some close family of mine. He was good friends with them. And the thing about these artists and this music, a lot of us know him. I mentioned that Kanye meeting the other day. One of my good buddies, his younger brother worked with Kanye in Chicago. The GLC, one of his people on his crew. Kanye was talking about Playboy Cardi, this brother who works with me in Black Lives Matter in Gary. That's his nephew, Playboy Cardi. So a lot of these people are family, people we know. But we get so caught up in this, we get told for decades now that this is what it should be. It's tough. It's a tough road to hoe dealing with this. But this song here, I saw him singing this song at the Atlanta Hawks opening day. They started playing this song in April 2015. And played it in hot rotation till December 2015. Played it all the time. And the lyrics may not be here. Oh, there they go. So, and this song, Quan is a little different. His movements are different. But this song, I don't like none of this stuff. But this song had a nice little different type of beat to it. But when you see the lyrics, he's talking about sexually assaulting someone after they have been drugged. You're going to give H, he's calling her H. He's going to give her some ecstasy. And drops an N-bomb on us, and no, she's not gonna know what she wants. But this is what they're doing. Yeah, Drake's Hotline Bling. Y'all know that song? Okay, this is just 10 years ago. Drake was played on the radio because when we were doing this stuff, we were monitoring this on the radio stations. And Drake would get so tired of Drake. This is before Kendrick started getting on. I was just so tired of that dude. But he would get played 4 and 5 times an hour. There are a bunch of artists that are out there. There's rappers galore, but why is he getting played 4 or 5 times an hour? And he had the nerve to sue Kendrick for getting played 3 or 4 times an hour. Both of them is wrong. The industry's wrong because they're doing this artificially, playing these people because that's what they want you to hear and emulate. He had a song called Started From the Bottom, Now We're Here. Any of y'all know that one? Yeah. Couple years earlier. On this song, at the end of the day, every line he drops an N-bomb, unnecessarily. They just drop the N-bomb. Kendrick said, when you hear Drake use that N-word, it makes him cringe. And we're going to bring it up a little bit later on why doesn't it make him cringe about another guy who dropped it. Drake's mother is European, his daddy is black. His daddy is the brother of Sly and the Family Stone bassist, a brother named Larry Graham. Larry Graham's a bad dude. Graham Central Station, Sly and the Family Stone. If you ever heard the song Stand, beautiful song for our people. He just made some great music back in the day. Did Sly and Family Stone, and again, Graham was his bassist on vocals and on the bass. Bad brother. Okay. Again. like I said, he was in there again, and I know that in Chicago, I know, she ain't no singer. So in 2016, okay, randomly, in 2016, which was, what's that, 9 years ago, how old were you?
I was
9 years ago.
I was 4.
How old were you 9 years ago?
I was 3.
3?
5.
So pretty much y'all were in single digits. Y'all were in single digits 9 years ago.
I was 1.
Yeah.
I was 1.
But okay, so we get the point. Y'all were seeing single digits 9 years ago, and this song, y'all still know the song, react to the song. This song was played so much. This song epitomizes just about everything that was wrong in the music. They talked about drug slanging, materialism, of course, shooting and killing people, and they had one line in this song I found very interesting, and that line was, "If Young Metro don't trust you."
Oh, we know.
Hold on, say it again. I want y'all to answer and fill this shit up for me. If Young Metro don't trust you.
We gonna trust you.
Ain't that something? So we actually, y'all, we spoke here in Garvey in 2018 or 19, and we asked that same question, and probably about the same percentage of students knew the answer. If Young Metro don't trust you,
We gonna shoot you.
I'm gonna shoot you. Now, I don't know. I know Colleen, but I think I'm seeing some of y'all and no Tabidi. I don't know nobody else in here, so I'm not automatically gonna trust you. But I'm not gonna shoot you. I'm gonna get away from you, or I'm gonna see if I like the vibe. I'm gonna try to get to know you better, so maybe we can develop some trust. I'm not gonna shoot you. So, Bad and Bougie in 2016, and what that is, that's DJ Metro Boomin and No Future. They call it Future, we call it No Future. That's Future making that statement. If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. So in Chicago, in 2016, we had 800 homicides. We had 11 people, almost 11 people getting shot every day in Chicago. If 11 people were getting shot every day, 9.5 of them look like us. And here you have, on the radio, in 2017, January 2017, because again, this is 2016, those are numbers from 2016, those horrific numbers. And I got a picture of a Sun-Times newspaper article showing a bunch of the faces of the Africans and a few others who were killed that year. So here we are, right after the end of the last month in December, and I already said it, last month in the year is December. First month is January. So on these radio stations, they do a top 10 at night. So they did the top 10 at the end of January 2017, less than 1 month after we got these horrific numbers. And in the top 10 were 5 songs who had the phrase, "If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you." This is being done by Crawford Broadcasting, European-owned company, and iHeart, No Heart, company that has about at least 28 other radio stations, not just in Chicago, but in Indianapolis and Atlanta, all over the country, playing the same sort of poison to the struggling Africans who are struggling with this fratricide, this horizontal violence, and this is what they're pumping into our heads with the music. There was a song called "Bounce Back" by Big Sean. Kind of funky. Big Sean can rap. And that song, he said, "If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you." I mentioned Kanye West earlier. He had a song called "Stretch Out My Hands to My Father." Kind of inspirational, nice song. In that song, he liked the phrase. Kanye makes his own beats. He likes the phrase, so he just put it in there. That was in the top 10. If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. There was a rapper named Lil Uzi Vert. You ever heard of him?
Yes.
Lil Uzi Vert, or Lil Lucifer, or Little Uzi, which is a gun Vert, had this song called "You Was Right." So he met this sister in a club, and now I won't explain what the song's about, but in that song, it was in the top 10 also, and he said, "If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you." These are 3 songs so far in the top 10. Just crazy. There was a song called XBITCH. That was with 21 Savage and No Future. In that song, "If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you." And there's one more. Did I mention Bad and Bougie? Bad and Bougie, "Bounce Back," "Reach Out My Hands to My Father," "You Was Right," and XB. So those were the 5 songs in the top 10, less than a month after we in Chicago got the news that 800 people were killed. And this is what you're playing for the black people. And Bad and Bougie was right along with it. Here we come in April, a little later on, there was Young Jeezy and Drake with another song that said, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow, okay, it's right there. If Young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. And so here we are, in 2024. Metro Boomin and Drake come out with another album, 9 years later. The album was entitled, We Don't Trust You. Still doing it, 2024. We Don't Trust You. They came out with another album, that was the number one album in the country, rap album. They came out with another album after that. The next album was called We Still Don't Trust You. What are they trying to put in our head? Not that we don't trust, but if we don't trust you, what's going to happen? 10 years later. So that's why when we talk about we can't do another 25 years of this, there got to be some changes made. Got to be some changes made, y'all.
Okay.
Formation, yeah, that one. So in 2016 also, there came a work from our reality. So in 2016, y'all would ask this question. I would ask the question, see if y'all can get it too, because I mentioned her earlier when we saw her earlier. There are three women in R&B and hip hop around that time, the first 16 years of the year, that we would hear all the time. Only three. And I would ask the question, y'all might be able to get it, so there's three. You got a hint on one of them right now. Who do y'all think they were? And who else? Okay, Alicia Keys was shown on there, but she's not one of them. Because they played her, but no, still a good guess, but she was shown on there, and she still made some hits. So give me another name. That's it. It ain't typical. That's it. Those three were the only three we heard consistently. Just those three. And again, the quality, the class of it was not really where we needed it to be. And then came, what Bruno's here. Let me see, she got me right here. Yeah, there we go. So then came Cardi B. We call it Cardi B gone. Then came Cardi B. So after Cardi B came, and Bodak Yellow, Cardi B had like her first 4 or 5 songs were in the top 10 at the same time. And this is not organic. It didn't happen because we actually went out and bought the records did the stream. This is the same thing that Drake sued Kendrick for, his record company for, that Kendrick got, that Drake does too. They artificially putting this in, most likely putting this into these streams, making you think this is what I should be listening to. This is what's hot. That's what they do. Because we want to be hip. We want to be with the trend. We talk about the music like that. There was a song back in the day called "What Is Hip," and everybody wanted to be hip. Again, anyway, just horrible. The homeboy, okay, be humble. Kendrick, we mentioned Kendrick earlier. I know the people love Kendrick, and we have some struggles with Kendrick. Kendrick, like you said earlier, just like I do, when I hear Drake or anybody drop that N-bomb, it makes me cringe. But I'm to the point where I gotta add, I don't never want to be at the point where it doesn't make me cringe. You know, I don't never want it to be really acceptable to me to listen to that word. I struggle with Kendrick because he gets on fake, and we call Drake fake sometimes too. But he gets on Drake for doing that, dropping that N-bomb, but yet on the same song he's dropping them himself 7, 8 times. You know, it's not just because he's black. It's what's his name's black too, Drake. It's called Shoot. They said shoot. You know, we have choruses in songs. Yeah. You like the chorus in that Days Love song was, "Let it end, try me, I'm gonna get his whole MF and body." That was the chorus. The chorus in the song "Shoot" was shoot. All they said was shoot, shoot, shoot. 46 times in that song, they just said shoot. What's that doing to our minds? And it's the second most popular dance that year. The first most popular was one. How do we do it? How'd y'all do it? It's called a floss. Yeah. Y'all know about them dances? Yeah. The adults? Yeah, we know. Everybody know about the floss. And the shoot dance. It's just, I know, but both of them were out that year. Both those dances were like 10 years ago. Yeah, both those dances were like what's the name's Black what's the name? Black chick. Great. I see y'all like that song. So I'm gonna see y'all laughing at the City Girls. And so look at these lyrics right here from the City Girls. So we have an issue with black girls getting kidnapped. And she's talking about snatching people up. You know, as a matter of fact, I mentioned that little Uzi Vert song earlier. One of his lines said, whatever he did with this girl's sister, he got her. He couldn't find her. They found her missing. She was missing after that. And so again, that was the same song with the line about if Young Metro don't trust you with it from Lil Uzi Vert that they were playing. I wouldn't share you the rest of those lyrics, but yeah. And so this is, and when I mentioned again those three female artists, I showed Cardi B. Then they brought the City Girls. Then they brought Megan. Then they brought Lotto. They started giving us all these sisters who disrespected themselves. Sometimes they would say, our group, they said, you guys are talking about censoring the music with the Clear the Airways Project and other groups that we work with. So y'all about censoring the music. I was at a program 2 years ago. It was a group in Chicago. They were dealing with police repression and repression of people. And they had 16 resolutions to pass. 16 resolutions to pass. We put a resolution in there for them to also, Clear the Airways Project, to get on these radio stations for playing this music, telling us to kill each other and disrespect each other and using the N-word. Ours was the only one that didn't pass. The only one. And they said because we were talking about censorship of the music. But we say they censor the music. If the music isn't talking about killing people, if it isn't dropping N-bombs, if it isn't pornographic, if it isn't ignorant materialism, they don't play it. They don't play the D1s. They don't play the what's his name? Brother out of Houston. I can't think of Toby Ningwe. They don't play him. You know, we very rarely hear Big Crit. We mentioned Nas. He's still making good music. Public Enemy still making good music. You know, they don't play the artists who are uplifting the masses of our people. So they play, even when it comes to sisters. Y'all ever heard of Ciroc? Her name is S-A-R-O-C. She can go. They never play her. They play this.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
What do you say about what about her name? Somebody said Megan Pete. Who's Megan Pete?
Who's Megan Thee Stallion?
Y'all know what a stallion is?
A male horse?
A male horse. That's a stallion. She's not a male horse. That's dehumanizing. So we call her by her. I guess sometimes we say her slave name, but she's not. It's not a horse. A slave can escape and can get out of there, but she's not. You can't call her a horse, but that's what she calls herself. And we got more examples of that coming up in a minute. And y'all know, like I know, the music is just totally disrespectful to ourselves and sisters. Totally disrespectful. Yeah, just yeah. No, check it out later. It's just, So I mentioned earlier, and this is 2019. There's a couple of things I want to mention on this brother here. So a couple of things about this song. We want to go through real quick because I think we're getting no time. But we were in Africa, and they were playing this song. I was at one of the, I think Labadi Beach, one of the beaches, chilling, and the DJ was out there. He started playing the song, so I went up to him and told him, "Bro, you know what this song's talking about? You know how many of your brothers and sisters over in the U.S. are killing each other? This is a horrific song. This song became number one. This song became number one right around the time of the George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor struggles that happened, during that summer. This song was number one in 5 countries outside the U.S. before it became number one here. By the Baby. The Baby had a song earlier called "Shug" or something, and in that song he had mentioned putting 20K on your head and having your partners come kill you. He had mentioned he'll burn him in at the store where your mammy and grandmama shop at. Not your mama. He was calling our mother's mammies, minstrel words. And he's going to burn him in. It means burn. He means to take one. He shoot him, and he did that. He did that. He shot somebody at a mall or a store somewhere. And on this song here, he has a lyric where he says, "My daughter's a G. She saw me kill an N at the age of 2." And his daughter was with him in the store when he did that.
Yeah.
So the baby was played almost as much as Drake several years ago. He was played. They played him a lot. I was monitoring these radio stations, always playing the baby because they want that message in our head. He had a song with Spot 'em Got 'em. You heard of Spot 'em Got 'em? Yeah. Who's heard of Spot 'em Got 'em? Okay, a lot of us, probably about a third of us have heard of him. He had a song. I don't know if I should even say this. I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. I won't say what he said in that song because it's too ridiculous. No, it's too ridiculous what he said in that song. But they played it on the radio.
They have the lyrics next, I
Okay. Well, this is the lyrics to Rockstar.
think. Yeah.
Have you ever met a real in rock star? This ain't no guitar. This is a Glock. His Glock said the promise he was gonna squeeze me. You better let go the day you need me. So this is a song straight up about shooting and killing black people. Straight up. All it was about him and I forgot whoever that was with him. This is a song where he said, "My daughter's a G. She saw me shoot an N at the age of 2." And we got this dude who was with his daughter at a car wash, and him and his daughter got shot and killed. Y'all saw that in Fort Worth about last month?
Yes.
Yeah.
2018 still Old Town Road.
Oh my
You know what? I'm gonna get off of that, but I love this. You know why I like this too? As we look at this song another song from 2019, because when that song came out, the Old Town Road, it had a lot of us fooled. It didn't have me fooled. I couldn't stand the song from Jump Street, but it had a lot of our youth fooled, thinking this was a song that we should be liking because they played it all the time. And then later on, they come out to say talk about his lifestyle, and they said that was a plant or something that they did purposely. Y'all know this dude? Y'all know the song?
Yes.
So this is from what? Was this 4 years ago? Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk back in blood. Pooh Shiesty's locked up in jail now. It was Memorial Day. Listen, y'all, this is pretty interesting. So Memorial Day 2021, I'm listening to the No Heart station. They call them iHeart. You know iHeart Radio, they're all over. They have award shows, minstrel shows all over the place. So I'm listening to they were doing the Breakfast Club out of New York, another ratchet, just disrespectful station. They try to legitimize themselves by having some okay interviews every once in a while. But they're doing their top songs of that weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and number one was Back in Blood. And I got it recorded too. Sometime I share it on my social media. Because the DJ says, y'all be safe out here. And, you know, have a safe weekend. And this is a song you got as number one, Back in Blood by Pooh Shiesty along with Lil Durk. Look at that. I ain't got nowhere to go. I done shot up everywhere they was. Come get it Back in Blood. This was number one song in the country in 2021. Y'all see how long they keep doing this to us. So later on, that Memorial Day weekend is usually how many day weekend? 3-day weekend. So by Monday, Pooh Shiesty was locked up. He had shot somebody the year before in Florida, shot him in the rear end, and they were looking for him. He's back in Florida again and shoots somebody in the club. Just like you said, I guess he had nowhere else to go, so he went and shot up in the club and shot the security guard, and he's still in jail right now for that. The other guy who was on there with him, his name is Lil Durk. Y'all know Lil Durk is in jail for some stuff he allegedly had done in Los Angeles after Quando Rondo shot his homeboy. What was his name? What was his name? King Von. Remember I was trying to figure out King Von's name. It was just kind of blurred. It was like, yeah, we know King Von, but how y'all know King Von is kind of interesting. A alleged serial killer rapper out of Chicago who met his demise again in Atlanta. And so the other rapper who's on here, I could say Lil Durk, he's in jail now for supposedly setting up a payback killing Quando Rondo when Quando Rondo's cousin, somebody else, got shot and killed out here in LA a couple of years ago. All this stuff is crazy. So Lil Durk is in jail because also on that weekend, his brother was at a strip club. I don't know if it was a strip club, I think it was a strip club, but a club south side of Chicago, and got shot in the head and killed. So they got the number one song in the country, Memorial Day weekend, one of the top stations in the biggest city in the country, has this song at number one, and both of the artists, one of them shoots somebody, he's in jail. The other one's brother gets shot, and a couple years, and now he's in jail. Both of them in jail. This stuff is crazy. You can't make this stuff up in the movie. I guess you can make a movie out of it. And people go crazy. Chris Brown, so disrespectful in his lyrics. Wonderful dancer, can flow, can sing, but his lyrics are just so disrespectful to our women. It's so disrespectful. It's just so sad. And there he is with Young Slug. So we called him Young Slug for a long time, and it's crazy too because when he got indicted, I didn't know this, but he got indicted, and what was the name of his crew? Slime. That was the name of his crew. I didn't know that was the name of his crew, so that nickname was appropriate. The Young Thug, oh man, we got another song with him as we about to get closer to right now.
What is what's wrong with this?
All these songs, like I said, all these songs aren't bad. This is just songs that were like top songs. And you see some that weren't as bad, but you see the majority of them have been like songs that are disrespectful to the people and encourages what we talked about.
Skip.
Grammy nominated. So but you said what's wrong with SZA, and so we asked. Y'all might not know this, but sometimes we ask this question when we do presentations, and we ask the people to give us 3 slow jams that you've heard in the last year, and that would be one of the questions. And people would struggle to do it. They start naming some of the classics. Y'all like the classic slow jams that you hear sometime, but we ask for current slow jams, and you can't do it. Can't do it. I'll go back, what year is this? It's 2025, so I'll go back to 1975. I can name probably 10 right off the dome that were out there. You know, I Want to Be Free from Ohio Players, Reasons from Earth, Wind & Fire, All About Love from Earth, Wind & Fire. Let me see, some of them were kind of provocative. Probably The Moments had a song out, I think, Love on a Two-Way Street. I mean, we could just name them. There were so many slow jams that were out. So much music that loved us. Music that talked about making love. I ain't worried about that right now, but and music that also brought, like y'all hear sometimes people talk about, this is the music that I was born off of. This is the music that helped create me. Now today our music that used to love us hates us. We set examples of that. It hates us. It's not about bringing life into the world, it's about taking life. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm going to tell y'all, when I was your age, I had so much fun. I danced and partied. Then it ain't going to take away our fun if they stop doing this to us. We're going to have more fun. This stuff makes us antagonistic. Makes the sisters, just go at each other. They kill. In the slow jam, she's talking about killing somebody. I know that's Kill Bill. It was about killing her ex. Right? You don't kill your ex. If you do, you're going to end up in jail for the rest of your life. That's crazy. For the rest of your life, that's crazy. Another horrible song. What are you spending on somebody? What you doing? You spending? Come on, man. And look. Best Hip Hop Award for BET. Grammy. Best Melodic Rap Performance. 2024, and it's a song about killing somebody. Spinning the Block. And Spinning the Block is not, even again, this is still bad, not aiming to get one person that's doing what? And what dance we did earlier. Where you just... I ain't no Pop and Pat. I can't dance like that, but I can do a little bit of something. All right. Yeah, here we go there. Dropping the N-bomb, of course, you gotta have that word in there. You don't have to, but they put it in there. And you spin it for them. I burn somebody block for you. We burn somebody block. So there was that song I mentioned earlier by Drake and Black Boy. He's calling Blockhead, faking Blockhead JB. And JB is the one who did the Shoot song. They had a song called Look Alive. He said, ends pull up to my side, we're going to send them to the other side. So they're driving, somebody pull up to their side, they're going to take them out and send them to the other side, which is either heaven or hell. They're going to kill them. This is the song, again, Look Alive. We used to call the song Look Dead. And so Drake goes on to say, after they do that, oh well, we're going to see how hard they ride. And so when you do something to somebody, they're going to try to come back and get revenge. And this is what we talk about. Burn somebody block for you. They don't care. They're going to go to the neighborhood where they think you live and just whoever's on the block. You know they coming, so you're going to lay low, right? But my little brother or sister, the two twins in Chicago, the twins in Chicago that were walking home from school one day, didn't know nothing about this beef. They were shot and killed in the beef like this. Because somebody wanted to spin somebody's block. I know this is a lot, y'all. We're almost there with 2023. There's no future again, no future in Tim's best melodic rap performance. There's some of the lyrics. Seems like they're kind of nice. Remember when we mentioned the rapper Megan Pete and how she called herself a what? Which is a what?
A male horse.
Not just a horse, but a male horse. And she's a woman. And so here's another sister named Gloria, and she put the added the. No. Her real name is Gloria. Her real name is Gloria. But she added to make it turn to like an 8. Now, not just my day, but still, if somebody calls a black person a primate or something like that, that's like going off. We don't accept that. She calls herself that, dehumanizes herself. That's not a human being. And the content is like, and they make her a superstar. Right now, she is a superstar. That's it. That's all they pushing. Yeah, just horrible lyrics. Y'all know her? So, Dolce was in the Grammys, of course, got a Grammy Award, but this is the one that got me. She got an award from the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. That's the NAACP. You heard of NAACP, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and the awards were the Image Awards. What does this do to uplift our image? With Dolce. The lyrics maybe I'm going to go by them real quick. Yeah. Oh, Nissan Altima. Just bragging about herself, calling herself a B. Y'all mentioned these. Y'all wouldn't lie when I said the percentages of the B's and H's they call our women in the song. We call ourselves that now in the song. We used to get mad at the brothers for doing it, and now we call ourselves that. We used to get mad at the Europeans for dropping an M-bomb on it. Now all of us call ourselves in. They got our minds, bro. We got to get our minds back. When she said, I got these beads, with white face, that means that they done faded away. You done took their life. What did Jello do? Why we mad at Jello? Why we mad at Jello? We not. Well, let me let y'all know something. When we talk about and get these cats' names, some of them we are kind of upset at, but it's more so the system. It's the system that we're upset at. In 2020, there were 200 rappers that were killed. 200 killed rappers in 1 year. And we just looked at the 6th anniversary when Nipsey was killed, right? The other day. But so many getting killed. 200. In 2021, it was 250. And of the 250 that were killed, 200 was from gun violence. Don't believe me? Look it up. There's a whole story on it, and it's a 25-minute story where they go through most of the rappers' songs, much like not like we do here. It's unedited, and you can see some of their songs, and most of them got guns, got the materialism, talking about taking somebody else out, and it's, look what happened to them. The dude over in Fort Worth, Texas, that we talked about, I mentioned him a couple times, rapper. He was killed at the car wash with his 5-year-old daughter when somebody figured they were going to do like Blockhead JB and just all these other cats and spray the block. They sprayed the car wash and killed him and killed his 5-year-old daughter. Another rapper gone. We said, well, let me just check out this rapper's songs, see what his songs were about. And one of his songs, that's what he's doing. He's chasing somebody down with a gun. The rapper who told him don't go to that car wash anymore. I looked at his song. Same thing, dropping N-bombs, talking about killing people. It's so much of this going on. It's crazy. So, when they were looking for the guys who killed the 5-year-old girl and the rapper, they couldn't find them for a minute, even though they really did some snitch on themselves type stuff too, because the cameras are everywhere. But we suggested that they go right from Fort Worth to a city called San Antonio, Texas. They're not that far away from each other. Texas is a big old state, so it does take you a couple hours to get there. But in San Antonio, that is the headquarters of iHeart, where Clear Channel was. Y'all remember iHeart from earlier? 28 stations around the country that play kill black people music? We said, go down there and find Bob Pittman. Bob Pittman is from Mississippi. He's the man who runs iHeart Radio. We said, go get him. He's the one who ordered that hit. Ordered a hit. And we said double entendre on purpose. So the hit songs out there about killing people. And when you do a hit, you're killing somebody. So he ordered the hit because that's what they promote and push for us. There's an example right here. Somebody asked, why Jello? Jello song Tweaker. Straight out of nowhere now. It's the hottest thing out there. Jello is going to be featured at some of these minstrel fests that are coming out here. And we call them minstrel fests because the minstrel show, y'all ever heard of a minstrel show?
Yes.
The minstrel show was the #1 entertainment for white folks 100 years ago. Turn of the century, beyond, it was a minstrel show. They go, and white folks were dressed up, put black stuff on their face, and act silly. And, you know, like call each other mammy, like we mentioned with Lil Baby calling our mamas that when he's shooting somebody in front of them. That was the minstrel show. They loved it. He would hop around and act silly and stuff, and that's what they do to imitate black folks. So, Jello got invited to go to perform at these beyond, we call them beyond minstrel shows now, because those minstrel shows weren't that pornographic and they weren't that violent. So Jello's, because of this song Tweaker. Before that, he goes to the Detroit Lions playoff game and performs there. They end up losing that game. But why is he in Detroit? All the violence and issues that we have in Detroit, why are you in Detroit singing lyrics like this? He's dropping N-bombs all throughout the song. I mentioned earlier, I know he's a homeboy from around the LA area, but he ain't struggling. His brothers are making what? Probably $150 million combined, right? If I had a couple brothers and I'm making $150 million, you think they'd be struggling?
No.
He's not struggling. He ain't one of these rappers who feel I gotta, now he's somebody we might be a little mad at because he's not struggling. He don't have to do this. My trust is in God, Glocks, and dollars. He performed at the NBA All-Star Game weekend. Some of y'all may have saw it in San Francisco.
Yeah.
He performed. And he left out all the N-bombs he dropped in the song. He didn't say anything about putting holes in you, which he says in the song. He didn't say anything about spinning, which he says in the song. What he got to do, what's Jello going to be out spinning on anybody for? So why are you promoting that to us? But he got an 8. Somebody mentioned Chief Keef earlier. I didn't mean to mention him earlier, but Chief Keef came around 2010, something like that, what I don't like. If I don't like, boom, bang, 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 I'm going to shoot you. If I don't like what you do, I'm almost like if I don't trust you. If I don't like, I'm going to shoot you. That's pretty much it, bang, bang, bang. Chief Keef got, I think it was I forgot how much money he got. He got a great contract when he came out with that. Matter of fact, Drake was on there doing one of his dances when the song first came out. No, I'm getting mixed up. Drake was doing the Bobby Shmurda dance. You heard of Bobby Shmurda?
Yes.
Y'all know the song Bobby Shmurda song?
Yes.
Bobby Shmurda got a $3 million contract when he came out. So they give these artists these contracts. Bobby Shmurda had a song called Hot Nigga, and this song was about killing black people. He'd shoot them, and they twirl around, start off the song, he shoot you, twirl around, and fall out. Bobby Shmurda, S.H. Murder is how you spell his name. Shoot, twirls around, the impact of the gun got him twirling around, and he falls out. There was Laquan McDonald in Chicago. He was fighting away from the police, and they didn't have him on video camera, but one of the cops shot him, I think like 13 times. And in the video, you see the video, he twirls around and falls out. Same thing that Bobby Shmurda talked about. He got $3 million for it. This cop, because of the video, he got fired and got a small sentence. I think he may have got out by now. He may still be in there. That's what he got for it. So, there's so much in this stuff. So, go back to Tweaker. He got an $8 to $13 million contract from Sir Lucien Grange. Sir Lucien Grange is a person in charge of Universal Music Group. His name is Lucien Grange. Over in England, they liked what he was doing with the music, so they hit him upside the head with one of them swords, pow! And now you're a sir, you're a knight. So his name is Sir Lucien Grange. When we said, when you're looking for the people who killed the rapper and his 5-year-old daughter, he said go and get Bob Pittman in San Antonio. Y'all know where he is. He also said go get Sir Lucien Grange. This is what he got put out. Let's deal with this a little bit more. Jello's brothers played for who? Charlotte and who else? And the Bulls. Two brothers in the league, making good money. NBA. He's performing at the NBA All-Star game. The NBA, right now, one of the biggest stories, not just Steph Curry hitting the 52 points the other day, but he hit him on Memphis, and John Morant did like this, like he had a gun on the TV. So that's a big story. NBA probably is going to fine him. They may give him a couple of days because previously he got suspended for a long period of time for being with the gun on TV or whatever. But you got at your All-Star game this line. You equating trusting God with Glocks and dollars, cash, whatever he said. This is what he said. So it's crazy, y'all. They know exactly what they're doing. Then of course Kendrick's not like us. So sometimes we have things that we don't agree on, but we also the end goal, especially when it comes to our activism, what we're about, we like, man, we got to be together. They don't want to see us come together. This was taken in 1963, 1965. Malcolm was assassinated in 1968. Dr. King was assassinated. We're in the midst of the 100th anniversary of the birth of Malcolm X. He was born May 19, 1925. And Malcolm X would not have been Malcolm X if it was not for the brother who the school was named after, right? His daddy was a Garveyite. Malcolm's daddy was a Garveyite. His mama, both of them wrote for the paper. So that was a Marcus Garvey family that they were in. So big up, shout out to our brother. Who's that? Muhammad Ali, who else?
Sam Cooke, Jim Brown,
Malcolm X in Miami that night. This was brothers, athletes coming together to support Muhammad Ali. They would try to send him to the Vietnam War and dealing with him on that. So that was in Cleveland, Ohio. To the left up top is Carl Stokes, the brother right next to him that doesn't have the tie on. That brother's still with us. He worked with our National Black Leadership Alliance. Good brother. Brother Walter Beach. Great brother there. You see Jim Brown, Kareem over there, and Bill Russell. Willie Davis up top there. Willie Davis is in the back. He had a station out here called K-Ace for years out here in Los Angeles. K-A-C-E. I think he had a distributing company too. But yeah, some good brothers there in Cleveland, like serious, weren't playing around with this crap we're doing today. So we got to unite, y'all. Some good things happening in Africa. Marcus Garvey was a straight up Pan-Africanist. He wanted unification for all of Africa. And right now we got some things happening in what we call the Sahel in Burkina Faso. I want y'all to say Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso. They kicked the French out. They said we're going to control our own resources and our own economy and our own production. Same thing happening in Mali. Same thing happening in Nigeria. And Africans all around the continent in many areas are combining and working on this and doing this. So yeah, so shout out to what's going on in Africa right now. Keep your ears and your eyes open. And what's happening with our people all over. Okay, music can build or it can destroy, so we got to build, y'all. Real quick, let's talk about one of the reasons we came to town right now is because of this animated Beyond Minstrel show, Good Time. It's on Netflix right now. And again, this is what they're depicting. When I talked about the NBA and this happening right here with John Morant the other day, when they're doing that, we also got to keep in mind that we're playing the Warriors. You ought to see the look Steph Curry gave him when he insinuated doing just that, when we see in that cartoon. So he looked at him like, man, what's wrong with you? But yet Steph Curry is the executive producer of this. You see Seth MacFarlane right there. There should be one kept. Steph Curry is the executive producer of this sitcom, Good Times, Black Again. Where they got a 2-year-old baby carrying the Glock.
Oh yeah.
We'll see that in a minute. But look at her look. This is in Chicago. We ain't doing that. We're not celebrating gangs on the news. And look at her look. The children have to swelter in place. Maybe she meant shelter in place or something. Maybe she meant swelter. Come on, we ain't. But in the north side, where the Europeans live mainly, the schools are open. And he talking about, this is the person depicted in there that got the shape of like an ape on his head, his cranium with a wide jaw. This is what they put in the cartoon, their depiction of us. We didn't ever have to be scared to walk to school. So this is why we're here. Today we're at 6 o'clock. We're going to be at Crypto Arena demonstrating because the Warriors are playing the Lakers. Also our brothers and sisters in New York, they're part of a group called CMOTAP. CMOTAP is a committee to eliminate media offensive to African people. Just about all we saw today, so much of it was offensive to us. And so we have groups working against that. Okay. Y'all good? Y'all get what we were talking about? Y'all understand? Yes. You understand? Look, there's a brother named Coach Powell, and he would talk about one of the main reasons we struggle and do this is because of our children. We have to protect our children. Our adults are adults. They can like, even though struggle for the adults too, we can kind of like navigate. We got more, we can navigate through this. But our children are children. We have to protect our children. Y'all count on us to protect you. It's our responsibility to protect you, and they're putting this on y'all. And we see even now, at your age, with the questions we asked in the survey, which you all been familiar with some of these artists and some of this music, that we got to do something about this. So we got to do more work, but we need y'all also to become those warriors as you get a little older. And tell your older brothers and sisters about this. You know, check your younger brothers and sisters when they get too involved in this music. We got some great music out there. We made some great music, and we can't take another 25 years of this. In a couple more stats I gotta let you know. 2021, the United States had over 20,000 homicides. Of the 20,000 homicides, almost 60% were 13% of the population. And that 13% of the population are who? Us. 13% of the population, yeah, 60% of the homicide victims. This don't make no sense. And our music is telling us to shoot and kill each other. Sisters, another crazy stat. At the turn of the century, 25 years ago, I heard that 30% of black women in their 30s had never been married. Never been married in their 30s. I couldn't believe it. I started thinking about some of the sisters I know, my age range, and I was like, wait a minute. Well, she ain't married. She ain't. Wow, they may be right. So here we are, 25 years later, and it's up to nearly 50% of black women of any marrying age. Y'all ain't marrying age yet, but of any marrying age, up to nearly 50% have never been married in just 25 years. Hold on. I wouldn't marry, if all I'm hearing on the radio is that the B's and H's and N's and we're disrespectful, I'm not marrying you either. They know exactly what they're doing. We gotta make some changes.
Okay, let's give a strong black hand for brother. Two last things. Number one, I know brother Satek, brother Abid, and he's gonna say a few words, and then also, if we can, we want to all take a picture. If we're gonna try to do that. So, as you guys know, you guys already met brother Abid. He's a person that is, I consider him. He's actually been an advisor to me in reference to a whole lot of things, and especially when it comes to technology. I really respect what this brother does. And so and I know he's going to be doing some work with us. He already has filmed a couple of our graduations, and excellent quality. So let's give a warm black hand to Brother Satek.
Thank you so much. Wasn't that a brilliant presentation? Let's give me a hand again. I came here, I didn't know exactly what the presentation was going to be about, but it was something that's near and dear to me. I'm a producer. I've worked with everybody from the Jacksons to name it. I've worked in that business. I play keyboard, play bass. I'm a drummer. My mother and father are drummers. I've been in the music business all my life. In studios, I'm a sound engineer. I'm the guy in the board, mixing, doing all that stuff, producing. I've met so many people in the music business, and I understand the music business. And so what he's saying is exactly right. But I'm not going to go into it now, but I'm hoping to work here. And I'm going to bring a box. I've ordered a box. It's a box about this big, and it has a woofer up under it. And you can put sand in it. And I want to demonstrate to you guys, because music, they're doing this and sending these vibrations through music because it literally can change your DNA. That's why when you see couples on the street, black people on the street, they're arguing on the phone. Yeah, you better get my money. Everybody you see almost that look like us, just in their natural state, are arguing at each other, have this energy. And it's not by happenstance. It's socially designed that way. It's in our music. So I'm going to bring this box, and just changing the frequency of that speaker, you're going to see the sand that sits there. I'll cut it off. The sand is normal. When I cut that speaker on, you'll start seeing the sand take different geometric shapes. And that sand represents the fluid in us. And they understand that. So when you're listening to this music, it's changing geometrically, it's changing the liquid in us. It's changing our blood. It's changing the water in us. It's changing the way we think. And that's a way of reprogramming you to be angry, to be upset. One thing I did was write for movies. And through keyboard, through the strings, I can make you tense. Just if somebody's behind a corner getting ready to scare you or whatever, I can play certain string chords that will tense you up. I can play music that make you happy. You know, it's all in music. It's in sound waves. So I want to expose you guys to the science of sound waves and music, so you'll better choose what kind of music you listen to. And also the words. There's a reason that they say, how's that spelled? How do you spell that? Spell are the words that create spells. Words create things. So how do you spell that? What kind of spell are you going to put on me? So that, like the brother was saying, that N-word, during the time that word was created or given birth to, your ancestors, our ancestors, were being burned alive, lynched. They're some of the most horrific things you can do to a human being. And they needed a word that would match that. And that word was the N-word, that would match the hatred that they had for us. That was the last word that a lot of our ancestors heard at the end of the road. Kill that N-word. That was the last word they heard. And here we are putting it on records and using it like it's nothing. What other race of people do that? Do you hear the Hispanics doing that? Do you hear the Jewish people doing it? What other race is absolutely insane? So once you understand, once you become more responsible with the spelling of words, that cast spells on people. Our ancestors said, and I'll leave with this. Our ancient ancestors said, our tombs are on your tongue. Our tombs are on your tongue. Atoms was the first word for atoms. Atoms create things. Atoms are on your tongue. You speak things into existence. So if your language is speaking things to existence and using the N-word in language like this is what's happening. This is the results of this. Us shooting each other, us killing each other, all this kind of stuff. So it has to change, and I realize it has to change through education. When we use the word ignorance, people get offended when you call them ignorance, but it's simply ignore. Ignore sense. You're ignoring things. So I want you guys not to move and walk through this world in ignorance. I don't want you to ignore things. So to fight that, I'm going to bring tools here. I'll be working here from time to time. And I'm going to bring tools to teach you the science of words, of sound, so that you'll hear stuff and go, hey, cut that, I don't want to hear that. Because I know what it's doing to my body. I know what it's doing to my spirit. Cut that off, I don't want to hear that. So once you have the knowledge, you can better navigate your way through life, so that you don't act up, because it's a system that these young men are in. I know a lot of them. They say we can't get a record deal unless we do this kind of music. Mm-hmm. They sell themselves out, make a lot of money, but they put all this poison out there, you know. And they know what it's doing. A lot of them know what it's doing, but they're making a lot of money, you know. So I want you guys to know what you expose yourself to. So I'm going to bring that box here, and we're going to go through some exercises. I'm going to show you what sound waves do to your body, to the liquid, to the fluid, to your blood in your body. And it changes you, change the way you think. Thank you.
Thank you.